nagulat ako and I understand them. Intindihan ko yung adjustment na ginawa nila because you have to do a different thing eh.
Aba, masarap yan, nakikita mo. Maligaya lahat, di ba?
I don't know how to explain it, but it's a great feeling. I don't know, I guess a little inspired, just happy I guess at home. It just fills my heart. It fills my heart. I can't explain it.
All the folks here in the Coliseum at the Astrodome, in this jam-packed Astrodome, all set to join all of you for the main game. Game 1 of the finals as we take a look at the starting lineups. Agustin de la Cruz, Statistical back in harness, Tang, Kaidic, run for San Miguel. Coney Island goes with Racela, Capacio, Codinera, Victorino, and Evangelista.
Fourth time that these teams will meet in the All-Filipino Champions. San Miguel leads that series. If you want to talk about a series 2-1, Coney Island trying to even up matters with this championship if they can get it.
Yes. Still no points in this championship series. And a foul underneath. Alvin Tang. So each side has been called for a foul. Rosella had one earlier, Tang with his version now.
Look at San Miguel's lineup now. We have Polistico defending against Jerry Codinera. Alvin Tang is picking up Manny Victorino. Art de la Cruz on Evangelista.
Of course, you've scanned the newspapers. You know that Coney Island is trying to win its third All-Filipino crown. They are the defending champions. So this one, a crash. Evangelista and Tang battling inside. It will stay with Coney Island.
Well, Tang, he had the defensive rebound as Evangelista fell to the floor. So Tang coming down, landed on Evangelista. See some arms there. Referees will let that go. And I think it's a good call. He lost the ball, handle on the ball. It went out. It's Coney Island's ball.
Still no points on the board. 50 seconds going by us in the game. Capacio, as you heard Butch Maniego, Glenn is celebrating his 30th birthday. Victorino, up and out. Still nothing on the board. Here's the trigger man. Shakes off Evangelista. This one, no. Jerry Ray Evangelista slices up the inside and scores the first set of points for the finals.
We saw a mismatch there with Ato Agustin picking up. But that was a very good pass from Jerry Codinera, who is a center, dribbling down the middle there. Got the pass to a teammate who he felt had the advantage with the shot.
10 and a half to go. Agustin downstairs against Rosella. Long top works for San Miguel and Art de la Cruz. He's happy with that one.
Well, these two players that are playing small forward gets the first 2 points of the ball game for their respective team.
Yes. Glenn Capacio waltzing with Kaidic. Yes, it's a triple B.
That's very important here in the series for the Coney Island All-Stars. You know, they've had problems hitting from the perimeter with the defense of San Miguel, especially from the three-point territory. And that certainly will lift the confidence of a guy like Glenn Capacio,
who is just stepping out of a slump of sorts.
Well, yes, I think you know, he has not been on a high emotion, physically. A bad pass there, 2-on-1 situation here. Art de la Cruz tries to stop Evangelista. Evangelista has 4 points in the ball game, and Coney Island has a 5-point lead, 7-2.
I think it is also significant to note that both these teams have legions and legions of fans joining them here on the court, and you out there, wherever you may be, traveling on the baseline.
Certainly Coney Island would like Agustin to give up the ball, give it up to Polistico about 12 feet away from the basket. You know, they don't think he can hit that jump shot, and he probably cannot have a dribble to go to the hoop and try to get it in. No.
9:19 to go. Coney Island has a 5-point lead.
A good start for them.
Yes, absolutely.
San Miguel struggling a little bit with its offense. Their defense trying to hold, and Capacio has 5 in the ball game right now. 2 players have scored for Coney Island, and San Miguel Beer needs a timeout, Seb.
Well, the flags are a-waving, the fans are here, they are shouting, especially the Coney Island fans. They are in front, 9-2. San Miguel's only points coming from Art de la Cruz.
Well, they have executed very well, referring to the All-Stars. They have also defended well, forcing poor shots. This one is a good shot for Ato Agustin, and you know he can deliver. So a good 2 points coming off a timeout, an early timeout called by Coach Norman Black.
Obviously to check on their offensive flow, which was not in sync in the league stages with 8:37 to go in this opening salvo.
And I'm sure they're putting too much pressure on Jerry Cordillera, but they did not figure on Capascio getting 5 points quickly. A case of illegal defense called against San Miguel Beer early here in the first quarter. That's always a plus for the opposing team because you know that they cannot zone later on without having to pay the penalty.
Puts them in check early. Capascio already with a hot hand. This one does not go, however. Polistico, forward pitch to the trigger man. Kaidic, sky pass. Tang, no problem.
Despite the fact that it was not a point guard that Polistico got the ball to, Alan Kaidic had the presence of mind to see Tang going through the wings. A 4-0 run here by the San Miguel team cuts the lead down to 3.
Here's Capascio. Victorino momentarily free. Capascio didn't see him. Shot clock reduced to 8. Jerry Cordillera.
Victorino is already on the weak side. If they dropped the ball to him, he would have had the shot.
Yes. Marcela rushes a 2-pointer. Jerry Cordillera pops. Yes. As if the game against Swift has not ended yet. He was so hot in that one.
His first 2 points of the ball game, a 5-point lead. Jerry has been the most consistent player on the Coney Island team, whether offensively or defensively.
Scoring 20 points or more in 5 of their 8 semifinal games. Alan Kaidic can't get it to fall in. 11-6 is the tally. Coney Island is in front. 7:18 to go. Jerry, 2 in a row.
Well, while Alan Kaidic is struggling here in the first quarter, the shooters of Coney Island are now beginning to come in, and Jerry has back-to-back baskets to give back a 7-point lead to them. Pick and roll play here for the Beermen.
A crash on the floor. It looks like a foul on Victorino. Yes, it is. His first. We'll take a second look from downstairs.
Well, here is a very late call. The foul should have really been on Rosella, who stuck out his knee, preventing Agustin to go through that area. That would have been his second foul. Instead, Manny Victorino, an innocent victim trying to come in for a loose ball, gets called for his first foul.
To 6, Coney Island by 7, 6:58 to go. 1-1.
Alan Kaidic taking it strong now after missing all those jumpers from the outside. Sev, he decides to get in closer.
And that is one of the admirable basketball traits of Alan Kaidic. If he can't get it from afar, he'll inch in closer. That's Jerry trying to go for 3 in a row. There's a foul in the box.
Pushing foul, I think, on Evangelista, who pushed off when he saw 3 red shirts their position properly. Jerry with a difficult running shot here, and Evangelista pushes off with that hand against Fernandez, who had come in to the play earlier.
Thank you, Dr. J. I failed to mention the entry of Fernandez. Meanwhile, we're down to 6.5. The team foul story of this first quarter. Coney Island with 3, San Miguel Beer has 1. Fernandez mid-post. Outside to the trigger man. Triple V. Yes!
You see the difference when you make a shot, when you make a layup, when you make a free throw shot. Now the things begin to fall for you. Earlier he couldn't hit the side of the barn when he was trying to shoot from the corner.
When Alan Kaidic starts to get that faucet flowing, it flows, it flows. San Miguel fans chanting San Miguel, San Miguel. Coney Island trying to get into a rhythm of their own.
Well, San Miguel playing straight up man-to-man defense here. Now it's going to be a bad pass on the part of Jerry Cordillera.
Since that timeout, San Miguel has tightened up their defensive screws and have scored almost at will here in the last 3 minutes.
Alvin Patrimonio coming in for Manny Victorino. And we have
Frankie Lim coming in also, Dr. J.
That's right, replacing Olsen Rosella. He is now picking up Otto Agustin. Not really putting a lot of pressure on him, but backing off to the half court.
And that's a jewel of a matchup, Lim against Agustin. But this is a tough miss by Fernandez, who was so close.
Underneath the basket, great pass there by Alan Kaidic.
Meanwhile, nothing there on that try. Here's Glenn Capascio, who has been a steadying force for Coney Island here in the first quarter. The captain.
That's offensive foul. defense was signaling, said, pass the ball, pass the ball. That's the way we plan this. You have a double team, you have a lot of people on top of you, pass the ball.
5 minutes, 14 seconds to go.
Yves Dignadisa has been sent into the ball game, replacing Art de la Cruz. Coney Island All-Stars still on top by 2 points.
Our score has remained unchanged for about a minute and a half now. Fernandez downstairs, we're tied at 13.
Vermont cannot hit. Obviously, he can still assist. And, you know, the best recipient of that kind of a pass would be Alan Kaidic, who has strung up 7 straight points for himself.
It used to be Fernandez and Ravena, and now Juan Fernandez has found another partner to work with.
And, you know, this guy has been an MVP and a shooting player, you know, a winner of the scoring titles.
Of course, on the floor for San Miguel right now are in fact 3 MVPs.
That's right.
Juan Fernandez, Renato Agustin, and Alan Kaidic.
On the other side, you have a 2-time MVP in Patrimonio. Alan Kaidic going back to Fernandez there. He's not going to, well, he's going to take the shot now.
His 4 other teammates didn't know whether Juan wanted to shoot or pass off. Capaccio in the clear. Yes!
Capaccio also has 7 points in the ball game now, no, Seth?
That's correct, Dr. J.
Including a triple B that he hit earlier. So down to 4 minutes in this match in the first quarter. 2-point lead for the Ice Cream All-Stars.
The other providers for Coney Island are Evangelista with 4, Cordillera with 4. 3:53 to go, 2-point advantage for Coney Island. Here's the trigger man. What is the call as it looked like a block? Yes, it is.
A blocking foul called on Glenn Capaccio.
Capaccio gets his first. Stepping into the ball game is a player we talked about at the top of the show. That's Albert Kevin Ramas.
He came in for Dong Polistico. And we also have Franz Pomaren coming into the ball game, replacing Alan Kaidic.
Franz Pomaren, of course, the president of the Players Association here in the PBA. Their induction will happen on May 30. Meanwhile, Agustin has a baseline connection. We're tied at 15.
Obviously, his job becomes easier if he plays the big guard. He doesn't have to bring the ball up, and the point guard can get the ball to him in scoring position, as shown in that last play.
He's no longer the infantry man. He becomes the artillery man. This one won't work. Ramos snares the rebound. Chance for the Beermen to move ahead. They have managed to fall behind by as much as 7. Meanwhile, Patrimonio's turn to get a rebound. Frankie Lim surveys the floor. Evangelista slows it down. 3 minutes, 5 seconds to go. Illegal D, and this should be a technical.
Yes, second time around called against the Beermen. Ramos, the culprit in that play.
Mid-season, if you caught the interview our friend Ron Nathaniels had in the first game, he anticipated that he would play in this kind of a game.
I anticipate that he'll play, first of all, because of the fact that Ravena is injured. Heason has come up with certain good games, has averaged almost 7-8 points for a while there. And even though he's a rookie, there are times that you can feel that he plays quite poised, no? With a lot of poise on the floor. Abuda has also come into the ball game for the Coney Island All-Stars.
Here's Patrimonio, getting reacquainted with Dignadisa. And Patrimonio says, take that.
No problem for the captain on that turnaround spin shot of his to up the lead of the All-Stars to 3. They've been in command here in the first quarter, but the Beermen have not really allowed them to go away.
Yes, not too far of a distance. The biggest lead, 7 points. Pomaren skirts around the perimeter. Thought about shooting, but decided to swing it around even more. Although the shot clock is reduced to 5, Dignadisa's shot is long. Abuda blocks it and gives it to Frankie Lim for safekeeping. 2:23 remaining. Cordillera, mid-post, draws the double. Back to Jerry. Jerry, there's a call by referee Chua, a foul against a San Miguel Beerman. Ramos picks up his first. In terms of team fouls, that will be 2 on the Beerman. Back with us here, 18-15 Coney Island, 2:08 left in Game 1's opening quarter. And this is the third illegal defense call against the Beermen. Another technical being called against them.
Well, if you could see the play, San Miguel played pretty good defense with Fernandez double teaming, and he was able to go after his man. The mistake was on the part of Ato Agustin. He's trying to leave Bill Season on the other weak side, and he got caught in between. Frankie Lim, however, misses the technical free throw shot, so it's still a 3-point lead here for the Coney Island All-Stars. Almost a bad pass there, almost a bad inbound.
The alertness of the Ice Cream Stars managing to secure possession. Packy for a three. Franz Pumaren got a good block out assist from Fernandez there, and he'll set up the offensive table. Here's Pumaren. Shot clock reduced to 9. Renato Agustin driving strong. What a move!
Step and jump there for Ato Agustin, and he gets fouled on by Alvin Patrimonio, so he has a 3-point play coming up. Let's take a look at this on our slow-mo, partner. Up step and jump there for Ato Agustin. He still manages to get it off the glass.
In this particular encounter, 3 of 5 from the field in the first quarter up to this mark. 1:33 to go. Renato Agustin ties up, sews up this ball game.
What a big catch he is for the San Miguel Beer team. Remember, Seb, he was drafted in the second round, so people probably weren't looking at him. And it's a big one that they caught here.
Regular PABL watchers at that time knew of his potential.
But you don't know sometimes the potential if it can be
harnessed
into the PBA, where the game is quite different. And the shot clock is 5 seconds slower, less now. So how fast can you make the shot?
He's on. Shooting with, no, he decides to pass up. 2 on the shot clock. Look at the voice of Cordillera.
Back to a 2-point lead here for Coney Island with a minute left. It's been a struggle here for both teams in the first quarter. The defense is there.
Fernandez, the center of the offensive flow. Referee Chua spotting a foul. Vince Heason with his first foul. Coney Island collecting 17 fouls in the first quarter. San Miguel Beer managing to keep their limit at 2.
And that penalty situation could hurt the All-Stars. San Miguel, on the other hand, had been called for 3 cases of illegal defense. Agustin has 7 points in the ballgame.
Yes, partner, and going back to our subject that we were developing earlier about Ato Agustin, no question about it, through the years, the absence of Samboy Lim occasionally because of injuries has augured well for the game also of Ato Agustin, although you can't blame the fact that he also really has talent, of course.
You have to have talent. He just doesn't come just because you get the playing minutes doesn't mean that you can be an all-star.
And as you saw earlier, of course, he emerged as our 1992 most valuable player. The pass of Patrimonio ended up with a foul being called against Ignatice.
But there was a quick double team against Alvin Patrimonio, who was trying to get the ball back to the middle to his teammate. Only the 3rd team foul against San Miguel. 2 or 3 more plays coming up for us, depending on how fast they play this one.
Like San Miguel may be wanting to give up some fouls here. However, he's in with a courageous move. I thought he'd shoot. He's passed off. Has produced at least 2 baskets for Jerry Cordillera.
Yeah, 2 assists to Jerry Cordillera. And now may make San Miguel think of not double teaming or leaving the man Jerry Cordillera whenever he drives to the basket.
Clock winding down to 10 seconds. Baseline. Lamas traveling. Manny Victorino makes a near to the end of the quarter re-entry into the ball game.
And he's replacing Jerry Cordillera. I think with 6.9 seconds, so they want to give him some rest. At the same time, they want to make sure he doesn't commit any fouls. No?
Yes, he's on. Mamekase drive. He's on follow-up. No. Patrimonio, well, they ran out of time. The pressure is on. The heat is on. Starts off with 22 for Coney Island. San Miguel Beer with 19. Low-scoring first quarter.
And I think well played. The half-court game of both teams executed well. San Miguel had some problems in the first few minutes. That's why they needed a timeout early. Alvin Teng has come back into the ballgame replacing Ramos, so he came out with that defensive rebound.
30 seconds going by us here.
Kaidic has also come in replacing Ato Agustin. And Franco Lim is on top of him. That's going to be a foul on Lim and a possible three-point play coming up for Alan Kaidic. I'm sure that the San Miguel fans are hoping that Samboy can play, but it may take quite a while because that kind of injury, entails a lot of rest. But meantime, the beneficiary of that is definitely Alan Kaidic. You have to go back to the years, when he was playing with Presto. Despite the fact, as we have a health ball here where two guys have violated the entry into the lane very early. Alan, there were games he would miss 9 shots, 10 shots, 11 shots. He would still be kept on the floor because he was the star of the team. And he's the best shooter. So here, despite the early misses, Alan now has begun to blossom here in the last minutes of the first quarter and early here in the second quarter.
Here's that jump you were talking about. As if the game was just starting here.
22-21, 1-point lead for the Coney Island team. San Miguel has the opportunity to overtake them on this offensive play.
Alan Kaidic juggling the ball in the air, just missed that shot. Rebound, battle. Dignadice gathers his second personal foul. Each side has been called for a foul in the second quarter.
Alvin Patrimonio has that habit of rebounding with two hands, but at the same time trying to move into running position, whether dribbling or to pass it off so he can run also on the wings. Very few people can do that.
Patrimonio on the receiving end. Downstairs we go to Glenn. Taking an attempted three. Abuda slipping by Victorino, and Abuda in his earnest desire to get it back ended up with that foul.
Another good play by the All-Stars, realizing the double team, realizing who to get the ball to, and a nice cut by Manny Victorino, who was looking, I think, at the goal more than handling the ball first. He would have had an easy layup, especially going to the right.
And what happened there is that the ball ended up slipping through his fingertips. 10:43 remaining, still in the second period. By the way, don't forget that our Modulite brake fluid fast break comes your way later on in the second half. A traveling violation. San Miguel Beer has been hit with 3 traveling violations already in the first half.
And all of them coming from their big men, their inability to dribble. Polistico, Ramos, Alvin Teng having some problems as they try to dribble. Only Fernandez and Ives Dignadice among the big men really dribble well and can dribble around men.
No question. Victorino. Glenn Capascio keeping Kaidic busy. Shot clock cut down now to 9. Dignadice trying to do that patented sneak in from behind move of his. Ends up with foul number 3.
Okay, we'll have Abuda being replaced by Evangelista. And we have Hector Kama coming in replacing Franz Pumaren. Dignadice will still stay on the floor despite being in foul trouble. Both teams have 2 team fouls here. We are in the second quarter of play, 10:18 left.
Frankie Lim. Patrimonio squeezes through, and a perfect example of just how strong this guy is. He was battered from left and right sides and still managed to get it in.
He makes a very, very quick turn, almost beating the double team here. It doesn't come, see? He knows it's coming, but he's already on the way to go for the shot. Since the big man in front of him has laid off, he can shoot over Alan Kaidic.
A replacement has been made by Norman Black. Art de la Cruz, who scored the first 2 points of the Beermen, steps in for Ives Dignadice, moving out. 3 personal fouls on Ives.
25-21, 4-point lead now by the All-Stars as Alvin completed that 3-point play. Hector Kama calling the play.
Being tied up by Frankie Lim. I remember the second encounter between these two sides. Frankie Lim practically ate up Hector Calma in the low post area.
That's right. Well, he has the power. Victorino and Fernandez, a familiar matchup for many years here in the PBA. Mon very comfortable going to the left. No problem for him there. He does not make the shot, but he will go to the free throw line.
Victorino with a second personal foul. Of course, you all know the story about the years that Mon Fernandez exactly likes. Those years that end with even numbers.
Well, that's when he won his MVPs, no?
And
82, 84, 86, and 88.
of course, Mon Fernandez writing finis to his career this year, but what an illustrious career it has been. Ending up on top of several categories in the statistical departments.
Scoring, minutes played probably.
Steals, I'm sure about that.
Rebounding, steal.
Len Capascio, good line, and look at this. It looks like Victorino will end up with another foul, his third.
That's right. Victorino really has to step up in order to be able to give resting minutes for Jerry Cordillera and Patrimonio. If he doesn't play well, then Coach John Reyes is forced to push the two main men more than he would really like them to. No?
Unless Victorino is taken out of the lineup for the time being, back in his place, we have Jerry Cordillera. 2-point Coney Island lead. I'm not surprised that our scorer is going at a snail's pace in this game.
Well, because both teams are playing the deliberate half-court game, they know it's very difficult to get long shots. That's a three-point shot by Kaidic plus a foul from Frank Gillette.
I told you once, I'll tell you again, ladies and gentlemen, he has transformed this possible four-point shot into an art form.
Yes, to him, a three-point shot is almost like a jumper from the 18. He really has that range. No, it really depends on what you give him. Struggling a little bit with his free throws. Remember, he missed one earlier, and this one was not dead center.
Kung sa goal yun, left of the pin pen.
Masanawa, pumasok.
75%. Kaidic before that free throw, 5 of 8 from the field. There's a miss by Coney Island. San Miguel Beer, by the way, I failed to mention, already in the lead with 9 minutes to go. Here's Mon Fernandez trying to draw out Alvin Patrimonio. The pass to the right side. Art de la Cruz ended up being intimidated by the defensive posture. Capascio, Evangelista faces the basket squarely.
He's been silent for quite a while right now after getting 4 points early in the first quarter. He has tied that ball game with that jumper of his.
And we have been tied 5 times in this game. 8:30 remaining. Fernandez lost control, just batted away. Kaidic on the way down.
Kaidic shooting it everywhere now. 3-point shot, falling away, turn around, underneath the basket. Nice pass here, and Rosella gets the 2 points.
All 6 deadlock at the 8:06 mark of this second quarter. Kaidic already with 15 points across his name, already hitting his average for the conference. Kaidic lets it loose. Go!
Allen's just so hot right now, they cannot do anything to stop him except maybe perhaps put 2 men on him. But that is pure talent on the part of that San Miguel player. Coney Island right now, probably the more disciplined team in their half-court game. Although Rosella tries a brave one, which certainly is uncalled for. I'm sure his coach is not happy with that drive of his.
Hector Calma trying to set up now, looking for Art de la Cruz. Len Capascio now sticking a little closer to Alan Kaidic.
See, but he's going to get a lot of screens along the way. And Fernandez trying to get one against a rookie. He was intimidated, I think, by Jerry and maybe even by Victorino, but not with this guy.
Come here, Rook, or that's short for rookie. I'll take you to school. 7:15 to go. A timeout by Coney Island. 31-29. San Miguel Beer is in front. Earlier tonight, we had Alaska Mill taking game 1 in the series for third, 97-93. Johnny Abarientos coming out of that game as the Gilby's Choice player, 20 points, 3 rebounds. We swing back to this one. Mon Fernandez on your screens.
Making the first free throw, even that has been a struggle for Mon here in a couple of games that we have seen him. Nice assist, hand-off pass by Mon. Alan Kaidic hitting that one. Now, during that timeout, which was called by the Coney Island All-Stars as they now fall behind by 4, they brought in Franz Pumaren to replace Alan Kaidic, who's obviously very tired right now. So they're using two very little men there at the top in the persons of Calma and Pumaren.
Juan Fernandez hitting both charities, giving San Miguel Beer a 4-point advantage with 6:57 to go, second quarter. Fernandez takes it away. It's a dribble ahead. Will go all the way. Missed the shot. Followed by Tang. Yes.
San Miguel really, the trailers have come in to help out. Juan playing with a lot of fire here. He's going up against a team that he was coaching for a while and at the same time playing with. And he did not like the way he moved away from this team.
A lot of stories, a lot of controversies surrounding that particular exit of Mon Fernandez.
But better defense plus the good rebounding of Alvin Teng has helped them. Alvin Teng almost in good position to get another offensive rebound. Just jumped a little bit too early. And we'll have a holding foul there called on Pumaren. Good call.
And even Pumaren agrees.
Well, you can see how quick Miley Desma was on that play. If you look at the right of your screens, he was following this fast break play and was able to see the right angle and make the right call. Big burst here by San Miguel Beer, 35-29. Couple of substitutions made here. Well,
Alan Kaidic is out for the time being. Agustin is back in. Patrimonio. Good effort. Drew a foul. Mark De La Cruz with his first. Now both teams hit the penalty. San Miguel with 5 team fouls. Coney Island is 6.
Well, this is what you say this is what you mean when you say never stopping on defense. Alvin had a chance to make that shot, but Alvin Teng came out to make sure he would block it after De La Cruz held Alvin Patrimonio down. Right. We have Kevin Ramos coming back into the ball game, replacing Art De La Cruz, and you saw the statistics there on Alvin Patrimonio. 2 great years for him, 91-93, but he's been a great player ever since he came into the league.
Okay, of course, those stats that you're seeing are the conference stats of Alvin Patrimonio and the players involved in this championship series here in Game 1. Pumaren lets it go!
San Miguel employing a lot of pick and rolls between a big man and the point guard, then a quick flush on the other side by the shooting guard. And Kaidic has been successful with that. Pumaren takes over right now.
Evangelista quickly to Jerry. It works.
Yes.
Before you know it, Jerry is already in the 15-point, 16-point range. Before you know it, he has 25. But now he's moving at this pace with 10 points in this first half.
We are in the second quarter, 5 minutes and 15 seconds left. 10 seconds left on the shot clock for San Miguel Beer.
They are in front by 4 points. The shot clock is down to 4. Tang, is he aware of the shot clock? He tries to put it up with a second to go. No, action continues as Frankie Lynn takes it away. Modinera. Evangelista.
Yes! And time here for Evangelista. And a great basket there, plus the foul from Kevin Ramos. Alan Kaidic, by the way, is coming back into the ballgame for Franz Pumaren. The big mistake here was the slowness in the safety guards to prevent that outlet pass, that long pass to Jerry Cordillera. Then they're committed to try to double team him. And Jerry has the whole floor. He's looking at everybody coming in. He sees Evangelista and gets off that pass easily.
However, Evangelista failing to complete the triple bagger there.
Well, they have not been perfect from the free throw line tonight, both teams. They've been struggling a little bit from the free throw line.
Kaidic using Tang's shield, drives hard. No, not that time. Evangelista takes it. Chance for Coney Island to tie up the ball game. They do.
The two guys who started very well for the All-Stars, Capasio and Evangelista, continue to do so here in the second quarter.
And San Miguel Beer takes a timeout. Don't forget that halftime, do join us for our comprehensive coverage of how this first half went. We'll, of course, get the insights of the Dr. Andy Howe as well as the dugout reports as we take a look at the running numbers, the fast break points.
Coney Island has the majority of the fast break points scored in this ball game. San Miguel has been more or less content to play the half-court game, but this interception and the All-Stars are again running.
Patrimonio, he knew Jerry was there. He just knew it.
Yes, just like brothers there, and knowing exactly where his teammate was, and all of a sudden, after San Miguel had taken a 2-point lead, Coney Island now storms back with a 2-point lead.
When they talk about the great combinations in the world, they will of course remember the Cordillera Patrimonio Combine.
Well, we will. Just like Lapu-Lapu and Magellan.
Kaidic!
Nudge a little bit there by Patrimonio. Misses that 3-point attempt.
High arc of that lead pass. Alvin, back to Jerry. Not this time around.
Well, they missed that one set, but they ran it well again. They've been throwing a lot of baseball pitches that have been right on target.
Oh yes, very few mistakes in that particular execution. Triggerman being provided a shield. He says not this time, Alvin. Allen goes up. Yes!
He's such a good shooter that he can bounce off people, get bumped, and still make the shot. Two coaches on the All-Stars, Coney Island, still talking about the way Kaidic's been shooting, and that's been the bane of the game so far for them.
Yes, Jotres, Tito Narvasa just shaking their heads whenever Alan Kaidic makes those big boomers. Hector Calma ends up with a personal, his first. As we mentioned about 2 minutes ago, both teams already in penalty. Umaran is back on the floor. 2:53 remaining as Frankie Lim steps to the line.
Well, this three-guard combination of the Beermen, did not really give them the lead. I think what has happened is that they did get the lead because they had a two-guard combination and a three-forward lineup. Big ones, no? I mean, guys that were willing to screen. And I think they're having a little bit more problem here trying to fit in their shooting guards and their small forward. Anyway, like I said, both teams struggling a little bit from the free throw line. We will have that numbers for you at halftime.
Yes. I just noticed it just about now that Frankie Lim seems to be the senior citizen on the floor right now.
He is. And a blocking foul, I think, on Capaccio.
Of course, Frankie Lim, the 13-year veteran. Capaccio, you're right, Dr. J, with his second personal foul.
They are also in the penalty, as you mentioned. So Agustin will go to the 4.5-meter line. Frankie Lim and Victorino are the more experienced players on the Coney Island All-Stars. Frankie really has a very big role as the point guard. And this, so, being a veteran, there's a tendency for the younger players to respect him a lot, respect his decisions.
Victorino and Lim, of course,
played together, and they won championships together. Together with guys like Ricardo Brown for the Presto team in '83.
That's right. Yun yung muntik ng Grand Slam years.
Yeah, Chito Leizaga also played in that team. Joyce Adornado.
Joy Carpio.
Well, no, Crispa won in '83 the Grand Slam. They won their first championship in '84, second conference.
Okay. Meanwhile, Patrimonio goes up with no ball to work with. 2 minutes and 19 seconds to go. It's a 1-point lead by the San Miguel Beermen. Chance to go ahead now by Coney Island. Evangelista, the daredevil move. No siree. Picked up by Ramas. Ramas already with a total of 4 rebounds in the contest.
Ramas and Teng are the best defensive rebounders for the Beermen. Another push by Frank Lim there. So Umaran will go to the free throw line.
Umaran gets foul number 3. All set to come in will be rookie Richie Tixon. Frankie Lim will move out.
Baptism of fire for Tixon. First championship series in the PBA. Has to play behind Frankie Lim and Rosella, who have more experience. Tixon really has a good range from the outside. What is questionable now is his ability to guide the team.
Yes.
He can dribble. Of course, there'll be pressure, and now to call the plays despite being pressured by the opponent.
I think in the PBL, Tixon started to realize that he had to learn how to play point guard because in college...
He's too small to play big guard, you know. He's too small, he's too thin.
Besides, in college, he was really on the number 2 position, the shooting guard position.
That's right.
And I knew we christened him then as the Velvet Touch of the Ateneo Blue Eagles. He does have a mean three-point shot.
That's right.
A minute and 47 to go. 43-40. Beermen are on top. Cross court to Jerry. On courts. Too sharp. Nothing but the iron. Chance for the Beermen to improve on their lead, which stands at 3 right now. Kaidic says, I want it not just at 5, I want it at 6.
Kaidic's just hitting, after early misses, has been hitting almost everything he has thrown up, including the kitchen sink. Another foul, however, by Kaidic, who has a mismatch. He cannot guard Evangelista at post, and Coney Island is trying to capitalize on that.
And the very words you're saying seem to be the same words that John Reyes is marking out along the sideline to his ball club. Alan Kaidic getting away with murder in this first half with 22 big ones.
You see, what Coney Island is trying to do is choke San Miguel's inside game. But if Alan Kaidic and Agustin are going to hit outside shots of Pumaren, then they have a lot of problems. Yes. Because you have to really, in order to choke the inside, you have to sack down a lot from your guys that can shoot from the outside. And when they come back to him, Alan's just hitting anything, even with people on top of him.
Yes.
Okay, but it's still a very close match, 46-42. This has been the best first half game I've seen so far in this conference. I mean, I haven't seen it all, but this is the best I've seen so far. The intensity and the way the teams have played, both offensively and defensively.
And maybe rightfully so. That's why they're here, Dr. J.
That's why they're playing for the championship.
Evangelista gets the shot block. Pumaren.
He stopped the dribble. That's why he has to give up the pass now.
I think he has been a steadying force in the quarterback position. 50 seconds remaining. Under the basket, we have contact.
Ramos will go to the free throw line now.
A total of 17 fouls already being called in this quarter.
You see, in that play, Ramos was able to dribble around the defensive man, Patrimonio. Evangelista is now being replaced here by Abuda. But go back to what I told you earlier. If Victorino does not play well, minutes will have to be played. More minutes will have to be played by Jerry and Albi. The more they will get tired, and the more their defense will go down. Capasio is now being replaced here by Rosella. I thought of that because Coney Island, I think, really won the conference last year with guys like Abe King helping out. There was Ramos there. There was Benny Che.
That's correct.
Those big men certainly helped in resting Alvin and Jerry throughout every match that they played. And almost a offensive rebound by Art de la Cruz, but he loses the handle.
47-42, San Miguel Beer by a distance of 5. Dixon escapes.
Good shot there for the rookie. Actually coaxing it in, you know.
Like a golfer with a body English.
Well, you put a putter or a billiard with a cue stick there to coax it in.
Pumasok ka. 18 seconds.
A shot clock of a difference of 3 or 4 seconds, but Pans Pumaren takes a long one here early. 3-point shot.
The first bomb by Pumaren. Kaidic already with 3. San Miguel Beer utilizing the ICBF as a weapon here. Kicks on. No. At the end of 24 minutes, San Miguel Beer is up in game 1. 6 points. What a first half it has been. Now with the second half of play, as we mentioned, 50-44 is the score. A foul has been spotted by Benji Chua, the official. A foul on Alvin Tang. That's number 2 on Tang. Frankie Lim takes a look inside. Pumaren is on him. By the way, Naron is in the game for the first time. And the pass by Naron goes out of bounds. "20 seconds going by us here. The score remains the same. Agustin, let's review the rosters. Agustin, Pumaren, Kaidic, together with Tang and Ramos. Patrimonio, Cordillera, Lim, Victorino, Naron, as we mentioned, seeing action for the very first time.
And they have a big man, Victorino, on Alan Kaidic, who comes up with a fake, has to throw it out.
Shot clock down to 5. Short pass. No chance for a shot yet. Ramos, or rather Tang is blocked. Yes, it'll come!
Just in time for Ato Agustin, who pick up that loose ball to up the lead of San Miguel to 8 points right now.
Lim working on the outside. Of course, this is a best-of-7 series. Victorino gets one from close range.
We talk about the possibility of Alvin playing at the top of the key, and that will also preserve his knee injury as much as possible. And he comes up with a nice assist as he gets a double team at the top of the foul circle.
Of course, that was one of the big concerns of Chuck Reyes. But his star player, Agustin, meanwhile, rips apart the inside. Alvin, of course, is nursing a knee injury.
So you can see the defense from the weak side a little late. He should have been, Evangelista should have stepped right in there if he was going to stop on that drive and stand there. There is a warning of delay of the ball game called against the Beermen.
Good evening, Philippines. Welcome to game 1 of the finals of this best-of-7. 54-46. San Miguel Beer is in front. Jerry Cordillera
and you cannot give him that shot. Ramos made a mistake there of trying to switch off and then finding Jerry Cordillera wide open from 15 feet.
That is the strike zone of Cordillera.
That's right. He'll hit all those fastballs out of the Coliseum.
Pomaran, good look. Air ball, however. Ramos tiptoeing along the baseline. Tang says, let's try this.
Same mistake on the part of Patrimonio, just giving Teng a wide open shot from about 10 feet. His favorite spot, his sweet spot.
San Miguel with 3 more rebounds than Coney Island in the first half of play, 18-15, as Patrimonio shoots from the outside, no go.
And the Red Shirts are trying to run here, but Pomaran has control and an easy layup for Agustin. That is a breakdown in defense. Naron completely behind Agustin in that play. And they don't like that. That's why Capaccio is being sent to the scorer's bench right now.
What irks Chuck Reyes is that everybody was looking elsewhere except on Agustin.
That's right. Naron taking a 3-point shot and making it. A surprise one that really caught his defensive man by surprise. And there's a foul given up by Naron. I think he deliberately gave up this foul because he knew that there was going to be a substitution coming in and he wanted to give it up, no?
And it is Capaccio stepping in for Manny Victorino.
Capaccio assigned again to Alan Kaidic, who is on the opposite low post weak side. Now there's a down screen for him.
And we're down to 9 minutes in game 1's third quarter. Agustin applies the brakes. No, nothing doing on that particular attempt. Here's Capaccio downstairs quickly, bumping with Pomaran, no call. Naron spots, too sharp.
Well, that kind of a shot, he likes to use the glass. He did not do so in that play and rimmed out on him.
Long time, no go. Ramos, a bit undecided. Tang, no. Agustin got a big gimme.
Well, San Miguel very lucky with the offensive rebounds. That rebound just fell into the hands of Ato Agustin. And that quickness of him made him go around the defensive man.
Not much blocking out on the part of Coney Island.
But he don't block out that much, that far away as Alvin goes to his favorite spot. What happened in the previous play was Ato, the ball just fell back into his hands. It's a big play.
8 minutes, 6 seconds remaining. San Miguel Beer has a 7-point advantage. It was largest at 10. It is restored to 10.
Remember, Kaidic already has a 45-point game so far in this conference, and that came in the semifinals when they won against Santa Lucia to ensure themselves of at least a playoff spot. 3-point attempt by Frankie Lim in retaliation. And that thing he has been in a slump from that area the last 2 games, but that one could certainly help his team. They needed that.
Like it never came in one of the games.
In the previous
game, yes, at the end of the eliminations. 63-56 is our current score. Alan Kaidic, by the way, with already 4 rainbow triple Vs.
Wide open. Although he missed that one, that's a shot that the Beerman wants, and the ball goes off the body of Naron. You got to be tough inside there, You can't allow people to push you with the shoulders or with the body.
Can't wear baby gloves.
That's right.
Kids' gloves. Kaidic, wide. 7 minutes to go. Capaccio on a fast streak. Naron. Looked like he touched it last, but it was declared. Yes. Wait, look, I spoke too soon.
It's Coney Island's ball.
Here's Patrimonio. We're down to the 6:57 mark. It's Naron shooting away. Patrimonio to the rescue.
Well, the captain coming up with an offensive rebound again, that famous spin of his. He's limping back a little bit. Like I said, he's being forced to play minutes, and a lot of minutes, he and Jerry, because the team is behind.
And some providers are not producing.
That's right.
Here's Pomaran, really spending a lot of time setting up the offense. No clear view of the hoop yet. Agustin, aware of the shot clock, goes in!
Frankie is giving too much to the baseline, and Agustin has really bombed here in the third quarter. 10 points, like I said in the first half, is not too much for this guy. But when you let him get away with a lot of points here in the third quarter, his team is going to hurt you.
Let's check on the production line of Agustin. 8 at the end of the first quarter, chipped in 2 free throws at the end of the second quarter for a grand total of 10. In this quarter alone, already 10 points. Of his 20, Papacio, three-pointer, no go. Rebound, scuffle, Cordillera winning out. Patrimonio, familiar head and shoulder fake, bang by Ramos. Number 3 on Ramos. Coney Island takes a timeout, down by 7 with 5:53 to go. Game 1 of the All-Filipino Finals reads 65-58. San Miguel Bears in front at the 5:53 mark of the third. Earlier tonight, we had Alaska winning Game 1 of their own series against Swift 97-93, where Johnny A. emerging as the Gilby's Choice player. Don't forget that we will have a Best Player of the Conference Award, which will be presented just about before Game 4 of the finals.
Manny Victorino Seb has been sent back into the ballgame, replacing Peter Naron. Ives Dignadice has also been sent back into the ballgame. He has not had a lot of minutes. He came in for Kevin Ramos. Now, that's a taller lineup that Coney Island certainly has compared to San Miguel. But San Miguel has those 3 shooters right there on the floor. Jerry's now picking up Alan Kaidic in that switch off, and he still manages to make it. I don't know how, but he did. 7-point lead here, Seb, for the San Miguel team. 5:20 left in the third quarter.
Alan Kaidic unloading a fireworks display here tonight. 27 points already.
And it's not even New Year. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Post play for Alvin Patrimonio. Has got to make that turn quickly. Jerry there.
Victorino takes care of it, and a new 25-second shot clock.
You're going to see Coney Island just keep on pushing it on the inside. With that 3-forward lineup, they're just going to push it on the inside. They will have the advantage even on the offensive rebound should they miss.
Size, athletic ability. You're talking here of Victorino, of course. Patrimonio and Cordillera. 67-62 is the current count. 4:39 remaining. We're in the third quarter. Pomaran gets a shield, gets a screen from Tang. Kaidic open.
Oh, yes.
Foul! After that triple B!
I mean, he's in another zone at this point of the game. I mean, you can just hit him with everything you've got. He's going to make the shot. You're going to give up the foul. I mean, right there, that kind of a move by Kaidic. The guy back on top of him, a bigger guy, he still manages to make it. Trying to go for his second 4-point play in a row in this game.
Kaidic, 5 3-point shots. Yes, he completes his second home run. Would you like to call it that, 4-bagger?
Well, you know, not the turkey anymore. That's 4 points. At the same time, he's like a calculator that has gone berserk. But believe me, Coney Island will go on the inside every play down. I would even be very surprised if they take an outside shot. That lineup that they have, they're going to really just muscle their way in every time that they come down the floor.
Pound, pound, pound all the way. Meanwhile, conversely, San Miguel will go to the route that has worked for them.
That's right.
Named Alan Kaidic. There we go again. But he's forced to pass off quickly. Shot clock down to 10. Where is Alan?
Wide open again, missing this one.
Ives, Bolsway, yeah!
San Miguel's fans certainly love that because finally they get something from the inside of an offensive rebound. Foul by Jerry Cordillera. Ives Dignadice at the free throw line. Evangelista coming in for Capaccio, Racela coming in for Victorino. A change in the structure of the lineup of Coney Island. Even though they were getting the points on the other end, 2 points, 2 points, San Miguel was hitting them with 4 points, 4-point play and 3-point plays, you know? And that certainly is not fair. If you try to add it up, it doesn't balance.
Yes. You're also into accounting, Dr. JR. 74-64. Now this 10-point lead has been a familiar strand in the flow of the game. This is the biggest lead enjoyed by the Beermen. Evangelista forces that shot. Racela is hammered.
And that's going to be on Franz Pumaran, number 5, as he tried to scramble for the ball. Second personal foul. Both teams have 3 team fouls apiece.
3 minutes, 32 seconds remaining in quarter number 3. But we will have a timeout taken by the Beermen with 3:32 remaining. Stay with us. Reporting to you from the Astrodome, this is Sam Sarmento with our basketball guru, our senior analyst, Dr. Andy Howe. It's currently 74-64. San Miguel Beer with a 10-point spread with 3.5 minutes remaining in quarter number 3.
A lot of instructions given by Coach Chot Reyes during that timeout called by the Beermen. Both teams have 4 timeouts left. They're going to press it in, and Patrimonio continues to score as well as Jerry, no? So down to an 8-point lead here.
And the power plays you anticipated, Dr. J, continue to unfold for this club, this Coney Island 5.
Well, they're down, you know, so that's what I said earlier with that lineup. I doubt very much if they would even take an outside shot. They're just going to pound it in there. Alan Kaidic shooting well. 5 out of 8 from the 3-point area. Had 2 4-point plays completed. Goes back to his partner on the other hand.
Pumaran, let me try. Still won't work.
A little bit too long on that range. Coney Island could cut down that 8-point lead on this play.
Pumaran, although hit one that was a 3-pointer in the second quarter. Meanwhile, an arm foul on Pumaran. That's his third. 74-66. Go ahead, please.
Only the 14th foul for San Miguel set. 3 team fouls for Coney Island. Franz Pumaran now being rested by Hector Calma. Hector taking some time adjusting the knee protector there.
Is this the first time I've seen him wear this?
I don't think it's anything else but rubber, you know. It's just, oh, that's a holding foul. Hector comes in very quickly, gives up a foul. That should put the team fouls to 5, which means they will be in penalty when the ball is thrown into the live court.
Yes.
Alan looked a little bit surprised. Keep me here, you know. It's warm here. I like it here.
I like the heat. I can stay in the kitchen. Frankie says, let me try. No, siree. Frankie Lim, so far in the game, just 1 connection from 3-point distance. Triggerman,
way off the
line.
And last touch on Art de la Cruz there.
Two and a half minutes remaining, 74-66. Racela and Lim are on the court at the same time with 2-point guards. 15 on the shot clock. Cordillera above the key. They go downstairs to Cap.
They go back to the money man. Don't even think of long shots here. Just go to the money man. But again, like I said, he's being forced to play a lot. He's been boxed out well by Dignadice from some boards so far in this.
Yes.
But they have cut the lead down to 6. And that's what they want, to be within striking distance. Don't let the Beermen pull away.
Mismatch downstairs. Kaidic against Racela. However, Teng releases from way outside. Nothing working for San Miguel. The touch last by Patrimonio in the sequence. Frankie Lim will move out, and Tixon, we will see him make his second appearance in the game.
But Tixon will be matched up against Hector Calma, which means that Racela will have to pick up Alan Kaidic. Fernandez also about to be sent back in for Alvin Teng.
Teng with 6 points and 5 boards. 4 of them on the defensive window.
Jump off there by Evangelista, so he picks up Kaidic. Mon providing a screen.
Shot clock at 18.
Plenty of time. And an illegal defense. Called against Coney Island.
Just a warning against the Ice Cream Stars. Comparing this to San Miguel, they've been called for it 3 times.
But they have not been called for it in the second half.
That's true.
fresh 25-second shot clock.
Kaidic, trying to avoid the traffic, ended up with a one-way street.
Well, he cannot, even though he has a mismatch, he really should not post up. Great assist there.
Jerry missing. Scramble. Whose ball is it anyway? It's Coney Island's and a foul.
And it's a loose ball foul on a Beerman. They are in the penalty.
This is the kind of tempo that Coney Island wants at this time.
Yes. A couple of misses from underneath the basket by Jerry Cordillera. There's a mad scramble for the ball here. Eventually a foul called on Yves Dignadice against Racela. Fourth personal foul. In the penalty situation are the Beermen.
Racela.
Kevin Ramas coming back for Yves Dignadice, who is in foul trouble. The Coney Island All-Star 7 ran off a 4-0 run. They needed that free throw by Racela. He has one more opportunity to cut down on the 6-point lead.
And it is a 69 count.
San Miguel had that lead with about a little over 2 minutes left. They have not scored from that time. And a little bit more tentative now in their movements. Although Kaidic's wide open again, but he's tired now.
Yes, and San Miguel's ploy of going to him exclusively somewhat backfiring. This one does not work for the duo.
That certainly hurt. Alvin apologizing to Jerry.
A minute to go.
That could have brought the lead down to 3. That layup. Coney Island has some fouls to give and an interception there. Dixon with a nice jump and Hector with a bad pass.
Dixon pushing it up. Racela momentarily free but decides to go to the captain. Over now to Racela. Baseline. Turnover and he was on the line.
That's right. I thought he was on the line. I thought he also traveled when he picked up the ball and continued to run. Now, he was really in a mad scramble to go to the basket and lay it in. But 2 turnovers on the part of Coney Island stops their momentum for that big rally that they had going for them.
Let's see if San Miguel can capitalize on that.
They haven't scored for 2 minutes now.
Yes. Juan Fernandez, you know the turnaround's coming. It didn't work, however. Rebound being contested. Evangelista emerges from the pack.
And the All-Stars will have the last say here as he's being asked by his coaching staff and his teammates to slow it down. Let's go for the last shot. At least we'll just be behind by 5 at the most.
5 seconds.
What a pass! What a pass!
Yes, indeed! And at the end of 3 quarters, San Miguel Beer just barely up by 3. Largest lead of the Beermen stood at 10. This is game 1. It's a 5-point San Miguel advantage. Long time does not work for Tixon.
Well, I think he wanted to try his outside shot, but definitely they have been doing so well from the inside. San Miguel did not score for over 2 minutes in that end game where they had it 74-64. And so Coney Island made that comeback, cut the lead down to 3. Now it's back to 5.
Hand off to Renato Agustin.
Nice block. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Hey, this is a great call here, a great block. And the referee is Bailey Desma. There's no such thing as body contact when you make a block like that. You don't make calls like that. And that was a great block, period.
Fernandez unloads.
His first field goal of the ball game. His first points, I think, came from the free throw line, no?
You are absolutely correct, partner. And those points coming in the second quarter. First bucket from the field by the franchise, as he once used to be known, and even as El Presidente Patrimonio. Takes it into the heart of the defense there.
Gets a foul, I think, from Ramas.
You're correct. Take a look at Bob Ravenna on the bench of Coney Island.
Certainly could have helped. If anything, I think he has the quickness to defend guys like Alan Kaidic, and Ato Agustin. And he also has the spring there that can maybe bother the shot. Back to the captain here, but block on a double team. Whose foul is it?
Ramas, and if that's Ramas, it's 5 personal fouls.
I think Mon had a clean block Ramos may have been called for holding or putting that wood, as we call the hand, downstairs. So look at that spin. Ramos there. Ramos is the one who actually took the block, and he could not believe it. But Patrimonio will go to the free throw line as Teng comes in to replace him.
Teng will be playing with 2 personal fouls. This fourth quarter is down to 10 minutes and 39 seconds. Patrimonio, not a bit of a problem with that first free throw. Already the captain with 20 points. At the end of the first half, he had knocked 7, and he added 12 more in the third.
The highest paid player is like money in the bank. He misses that free throw, and Teng couldn't control the rebound play.
The sheer weight and the pull of gravity.
2 white shirts coming on top of him.
And he's decided to control the basketball, compounding that particular situation. Patrimonio climbing over everybody, but didn't get the bucket, got a foul instead. He revisits the free throw line.
His first personal 13 foul.
Foul on Mon Fernandez. Count that as number 1 on Fernandez. San Miguel Beer already accumulating 3 team fouls at the 10:30 mark of this fourth quarter.
Earlier on your screens, PSC Commissioner Mario Raimondo, joined there by the Secretary of Justice, Franklin Relon, who always takes time out to come to the PBA games whenever he has that opportunity. Alan Kaidic is being sent back in, replacing Art de la Cruz. Melman's still very content to play with his 3 guards who have been responsible for giving him the big lead. No?
And 26 remaining, Dr. J, and it's San Miguel Beer up by 4.
Very, very close match here.
First half was played extremely well by both clubs. San Miguel is left with an 8-second shot clock. Nearly a wild pass. Calma to the rescue. Teng. But the hand of Rosella was on the hand of Teng.
Oh, that thing on the part of Hextor you would call an instinctive move. He had to jump up into the air to save the ball. So the first red shirt he saw, he threw the ball back to him.
Yes. You know? By the way, on Samboy Lim, whom you saw earlier, of course, Samboy Lim, they really do not want to force him to play. I understand from the San Miguel camp that he cannot fly, and when the Skywalker cannot fly, he's not of any use to his team.
Yes, at the same time, the more days that he rests, the better the injury will heal, the faster the injury will heal. The more that you put pressure on it, the longer it will take.
Well, San Miguel Corporation always thinks not only of the short term, but the long term as well.
Alan Kaidic, after a great start, beginning to falter a little bit now.
Richie Tixon playing some quality minutes here.
Shot clock down to 11.
That's correct. Patrimonio hooks it inside, hooks it back. Jerry.
Yes.
Coney Island refuses to fold under the pressure of being down by as large as 10 for at least 3 times, and are down by just 2.
And the inside, and Hector Cama called for an offensive foul against Tixon. Hector really very disappointed with himself.
And Pumaran is ready to come back in. San Miguel Beer wants to reassess its situation. They take a timeout with 9:32 to go. Yes, it is tied as Richie Tixon nails that jumper. It is 78-all with 9:16 remaining. Tixon with some quality minutes, as we mentioned, already with 4 points. San Miguel Beer just stepping out of a timeout. They have 3 more to go. Coney Island with 4. Kaidic. Fernandez to Pumaran. Free. No. And suddenly there's a lid on the San Miguel basket, Dr. Jack. Kaidic. No. It is still San Miguel's ball.
They're getting a lot of offensive rebounds and second chance points. And we'll have a kicking violation called against Coney Island. That will mean a reset of the shot clock to 25. 8:47 left in this ball game. 78-all. A big climb uphill climb for Coney Island. And it has been completed up to this point. No?
Fernandez trying to back up against Cordillera. What a comeback indeed, Dr. J. We're tied at 78, the 9th deadlock. Last time we were tied, it was at 39. San Miguel with 10 on the shot clock. Pumaran. Oh, yes!
Just pushing his power there against Richie Tixon. Alvin came to help but just a little bit too late. So that silence for the Beermen stopped by Pumaran's underneath the basket shot.
80-78. Pumaran with 9 points in this game. They whip it to Tixon, the triple.
Yes! A change in the guard lineup, and Tixon, a surprise player for them, has given them a 1-point lead now.
Hold it. That's an offensive foul. Juan Fernandez gets the offensive foul. His second personal. San Miguel Beer now getting 5 fouls.
Against only one for Coney Island. So San Miguel is in the penalty set.
7:52 to go. Dixon, one more time.
Yes! Another 3-point shot. So a strict shooter in the person of Dixon. Big buckets here.
And the velvet touch has returned.
And he hit it from the top of the key through the glass.
And his confidence is overflowing. Pumaran shoots, it won't go. It's a match of Cordillera. Evangelista on the rush. They're looking to score. Yeah!
Lost the fouls. The lone defensive player on this play, no choice, gave up a possible 3-point play for Evangelista.
Timeout by San Miguel Beer. Welcome back. Evangelista, wait a minute, it'll count.
Well, it went in, so despite the violation of Patrimonio going into the lane too soon, it just counts. So a big run here. Now a 7-point lead for the Coney Island All-Stars.
San Miguel Beer's output of 74 against Coney Island 64 was at the 3:52 mark of the third quarter. They have only scored 6 points since that time.
Well, all of a sudden, their outside shooting going sour.
Kaidic, wiggles free. Capaccio holding on to his nose there.
Well, that's part of the game. If you come in and you try to block a person who's moving, then you do it at your own risk. But Capaccio, I think, may have gotten injury timeout.
Looks like there's a cut under his eye. Not exactly the kind of birthday present that Alan Kaidic would like to give
Glenn Capaccio. Neither would Glenn Capaccio want to accept that.
Yes, Glenn Capaccio, by the way, if you missed the point we made earlier in the first quarter, it's, of course, the birthday of Glenn Capaccio, celebrating his 30th birthday. .651 to go in the fourth quarter. Coney Island has a 5-point lead.
It's been a good fourth quarter for them, forcing San Miguel to call 2 timeouts already here, leaving them with 2 for the game. Coney Island has a full 4 timeouts left.
So Racela on the floor. Tixon is there. Patrimonio, Evangelista, and Cordillera.
And because they are in the penalty, Alvin playing outside, that'll mean free throw shots for Alvin Patrimonio.
Let's take a quick glimpse at our Motor Light Great Fluid fast break of the game.
This overkill here, 3-on-1. Fernandez, not really knowing what to do, gives up the foul and a 3-point play for Evangelista.
So many choices there, huh, Dr. Jake?
That's right. And they're going to take advantage of San Miguel getting into the penalty early here, while they themselves, the All-Stars, have only 1 team foul.
You know, the Coney Island Ice Cream Stars executed what I might call as mountain climbing, taking it slowly, step by step. They pounded it inside.
Well, they're very lucky. They have players like Patrimonio and Cordillera who can give you 2 points when you need it on the inside, before the outside shots began to fall.
Yes. Then Nixon came
Well, that's illegal defense there.
This will be called against Coney. And this time it is a technical, since it is the second violation. And meanwhile, the Ice Cream Stars approach Chuck Reyes, trying to get their defensive chores clear.
So Agustin taking his time. He had a great third quarter. But so far, he and Allen have tapered off. They're looking for a good last 6 minutes and 22 seconds because they're still down by 5. Coney Island all of a sudden picking up on its three-point shooting, courtesy of those two by Richie Tixon.
Here's Pomaren. Can't find an open red shirt. Still can't find anyone.
There's still plenty of time though. Evangelista called for that foul, holding down Alan Kaidic.
Evangelista emerges from that play with his third foul. San Miguel Beer, by the way, friends, already in the penalty, entering that zone at the 7:55 mark. On the other hand, Coney Island with 2 team fouls. Got a good pass inside to Dick Nadice.
Alan Kaidic's really a wonder in this ball game. When he sees a double team, when he realizes people are going to be on top of him, he looks for his teammates. And he has cut the lead down to 3.
Dixon suspends himself, will go to the line. Agustin is the guilty party, his first foul.
The speed of Tixon there to the baseline. Ato Agustin just a little bit behind him. Making that first one. 11 points in the ball game tonight, averaging 3. Did not play in the first half, or hardly played only in the last few minutes of the second quarter. And Alvin Patrimonio with a good offensive rebound. Another foul. Nobody boxed him out there. You could see Alvin came from way out for that offensive rebound.
That last foul was on Teng, his third. Patrimonio makes it 90-85 in the balance. 5 minutes and 46. Fourth quarter, game 1 of the finals.
You can see the big difference if you're given a lot of free throws. There's a great opportunity to pull yourself away from the other team. San Miguel already 19 fouls. Coney Island only 2 in this quarter.
Pomaren being given a blanket job by Tixon. And Tixon committing his first personal and the third on Coney Island.
Season winning percentage 67%, which means 2 out of every 3 games played.
Inside. Uproar from Coney Island. Rosella with an interesting statement.
He kept his cool in that play. He came out and helped out against an underneath the basket shot for Yves Dignodice. You got to give him that.
It is 91-85 with 5:33 to go. Yves Dignodice, 6 points. Whenever San Miguel and Coney Island meet each other in the finals or in whatever game they play, of course, his biggest assignment has to be Alvin Patrimonio.
That's right. Dignodice missing the second free throw. Still a 5-point lead here for the All-Stars. 5:29 left. San Miguel 1-2-2 trap here. Trying to change the half-court game of Coney Island.
Rosella, Patrimonio in the hole in the middle of that half-court sequence.
And now going to low post. Pick and roll play.
Dixon can have a clear view.
What a spin. What a spin. What a spin. Coney Island, well-designed play. They broke it properly. Another loose ball foul here by Rosella. Look at that spin of Alvin. And a hook here. Not using the glass. A hook right there.
Rosella committed his 4th personal foul. And the total of Coney Island's team fouls is 5. San Miguel Beer already with 9.
Coney Island is now in the penalty situation also.
Rosella hoping to draw the foul there. 9 on the shot clock. Alan Kaidic. Yes!
Another 3-point shot. You see the rotation that they had to do. Alvin Patrimonio had to come out to try to stop that shot. But again, Kaidic hits it. And this change of defense on the part of San Miguel, they're hoping to be able to throw the Island All-Stars off track during the half-court game. But they're very patient.
4 minutes, 25 to go. Dixon. Shot clock down to 4. San Miguel with a heist. Bomaren slows it down. 93-89. A 4-point lead by Coney. Out on three.
Wide open again. Out with a 3-point shot.
Nobody is sitting down on the bench of Coney Island.
They're all on their feet. All the players, including Ravenna, who's injured.
Jerry, yes!
You can rely on it.
You've got a friend in Jerry Cordillera.
That's right.
95-89, 3:30 remaining. Kaidic inside to Renato Agustin to Dignatice.
Alvin Teng being taken out by Kevin Ramas.
95-89 with 3 minutes and 21 seconds to go.
Same winning percentage, 2 out of every 3 games. 2 coaches talking to each other. Sleeves rolled up already here for Chot Reyes.
Rosella tried to alter the tempo. 3 minutes 15 to go.
Well, they have the lead, and so certainly you want to use the clock. There's no rush because you know where you want to go to anyway. Go to low post.
Bomaren with a near spin. Evangelista tried to put it up. Keeping it in by Dixon.
Coming out with that loose ball recovery and a fresh 25-second shot clock.
Dixon. Evangelista makes short.
No, it won't fall. And we'll have another loose ball foul downstairs called on.
It looks like it's Jerry Cordillera. Number 2 on the big Jerry Cordillera. And now Coney Island also in penalty. It'll be a shooting situation for the Beermen.
And it'll be Kevin Ramas, who really is not a very good free throw shooter, but you know, if he can get his first, then he can get the rhythm for the second. Coney Island has the advantage in that they're not calling their timeouts. They know that San Miguel's got 2 left, and Norman will try to hold on to that 2. And Ramas feels the pressure with that first free throw. So he's holding on to that timeout. He's not letting, he's forcing Norman to try to call out that one more before he'll probably give up one, no? Before the 2-minute shot clock comes around.
Ramas missing both charities. 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in game number 1. The Rosella-Dixon combination doing wonders here for Coney Island in the second half.
Backcourt, yes. And I spin. Goodbye, friends. And Rosella with a big wow, wow, wow cry there.
Yes, Bomaren, Ramas.
Ball stripped from his hands. And the big man of San Miguel folding up here.
Coney Island fueled by emotion.
And they have an 8-point lead.
Nasa last 2 minutes na tayo mga kaibigan. Natid sa inyo ng Emperador Brandy.